Thank you for being here today. My name is Natalie Draper, and I have the pleasure of introducing Mayor Pownell and John Sterner on behalf of the City of Northfield and Arts and Culture Commission. I want to first begin by acknowledging that we stand on the homelands of the Wapikute and other bands of the Dakota Nation. We honor with gratitude the people who have stewarded the land throughout the generations and their ongoing contributions to this region. We acknowledge the ongoing injustices that we have committed against the Dakota Nation, and we wish to interrupt this legacy, beginning with acts of healing and honest storytelling about this place. We are thrilled and honored to dedicate this new work by John Sterner to the past, present, and future occupants of this land. It is here for all to enjoy, and we hope that it invites passersby to pause and reflect, discuss, and ask questions. Northfield made a strong commitment to funding public art for all to experience and discover by establishing a 1% for the Arts program, which means that 1% of major capital improvement budgets go toward funding public art projects. In late 2020, John was commissioned to create a sculpture for this site. Drawing upon his heritage, John created this eagle named Wanbli Mitakuye Oyasin, or eagle relatives, now soaring above us. I want to thank the members of the Arts and Culture Commission, our Public Works Department, those who volunteered to serve on the Public Art Review Committee, Teresa Jensen, and the city staff who made sure the eagle landed safely, Tim Barrett, Alex Schultz, Steve Malika, and Steve Patrika. Also to Matt Gimsey for engaging in a delightful Q&A with John, and Elijah Sterner, John's son, who assisted with the assembly, installation, and finishing touches, but I don't think he's here today. Oh, okay. We're thinking about you, Elijah. Now I believe Mayor Pownell and John have some words they would like to share. Thank you, everyone.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Natalie. As this area and the possibility of even creating this really beautiful space within our community predates my time on the council. I came on the council back in 2008. Prior to that, there was a downtown streetscape task force report. And that report created the opportunity for us to redesign this intersection here, creating a space that's safer for people to get across, as well as the sculpture pads on this side, as well as the other side, and the beautiful landing space, right, of flame across the way, and now this eagle sculpture. And it's just absolutely beautiful the way it engages and connects with our community and showcases and helps people to slow down and really engage with and appreciate the beauty and the cultural diversity of our community. So I just can't thank you enough for all of you coming out here today, being with us, and helping us to celebrate in this moment. Thank you.
Good job. Hello. Hi, I'm John Sterner. I'm the sculptor, as well as Elijah Knife Sterner, who was my son. He and I worked very diligently on this for a long time. This project came about, Ben Martic and Teresa contacted me because I had worked with them. I had worked with Ben on another sculpture in Marshall, and he suggested that I offer some ideas, and so I created a whole bunch of ideas in cardboard, and Teresa got overwhelmed with how many I kept sending. But it's fun. It's fun, the idea of creation and making something, and especially for something as important as recognition of past cultures and current culture, and bringing the two together to me, was just a wonderful opportunity to create this. We went through a number of different ideas and different processes and things that we could do. We may even make one out of glass someday, as came about because of this, but those are all future things that we can think about. But right now, it was a journey making this. There were moments that I broke down in tears. My son broke down in tears. My wife was like, "You got to get this done." It was very intense. I lost the use of my arm for 10 days. I almost cut my arm off. Yeah, there's all sorts of things that happened on this project, but it got done. It came when we lifted it off of the wagon to load it up. Not a sound was heard. There was no creak, so we were thankful for that. It's very solidly built and hopefully will last more than a couple lifetimes. The eagle itself is very important to Dakota, Lakota, Nakota culture. The eagle is a direct representation of who we are as a people, and it goes back to an origin story of the Great Flood, and that there was one survivor and she was all alone and very sad, and an eagle saw her floating in the water and pulled her out of the water and put her on the land. And when he put her on the land, he found food for her and cared for her and took care of this person. And she grew strong again, but she was still very sad because all of her relatives had died. And the eagle felt for this sadness and had empathy for this sadness and said, you know, I want to help you as much as I can, but I don't know what I can do. And so he tried to show her the land. He took her up in the air and he showed her all the land that was coming after the flood. And it still didn't make her happy because she couldn't find her family. And so one day he flew as high as he could and he went and spoke to Tungashila. And in speaking to Tungashila, Tungashila said, you have one option here. You have to become one. And so he said, I will. And Tungashila said, that means you won't be able to fly anymore. And he says, I know. I love this woman too much. So when he came down back to the earth and he lit near the woman, he transformed into a Lakota man. And that's where our thought process and part of our origin story is that we come from part eagle, people in the sky, and that we are based with the people that are here. And so anytime we see an eagle, it represents more than just an eagle in the sky. If the eagle shows itself to you without you looking for it, then that's the way that the Wakan or Tungashila is telling you that you're on the right path, you're doing good. And so that's a big representation for this community for setting forth and saying, hey, this is what we want to do to recognize the previous culture that was here. And we have a relative that will be here now for perpetuity, so to speak. And then also it represents America. America is an American eagle, a bald eagle, and it represents who we are. It's on almost everything we do ideological. And so it's a combination of those two, and it's the coming together of those two cultures. So that was my idea, that was my plan. One of the really cool things, if you get the opportunity and it's not busy, is to drive your car on this curve and hit your live button on your phone and take about 12 photos in a row and then watch it, because it play it like a slideshow and it moves. So it almost looks like it's flapping its wings. So it's really cool. My son and I discovered that on the day we left. It was like, we could stop. Oh, whoa, this is so cool. But yeah, most of the time this sculpture was on its back because my barn does not have the strength to hold it. It does now though. But so we built this all on the ground. And so the first time we saw it flying was when it got lifted off the wagon. So it was pretty cool. I don't know what else. I could talk for hours if you want me to. I could just keep going. But anybody got any questions? Is that what I should do? Yeah. Anybody got any questions? Anything I can answer?
Would you introduce your family?
Oh, I can. Well, I got a ton here. That's my mother directly there in the wheelchair. My father-in-law, Norm. My mother, Karen Knife. My sister, Michelle. My mother-in-law, the famous Faye Myers. World famous. Yep. That's my wife next to her, Tracy, my daughter, Julia. And then my dad is in the back. Yep. And that's my niece, Keziah, next to him. My nephew, Felix. And then my brother-in-law, Oak. And that's my direct family. Wow. Yeah. And then I have a host of Alexanders here, too, on my wife's side. So it's awesome. Rachel. Well, we signed the contract in like end of June a year ago, and we started on it when I got home. And and then we, due to time constraints and things with work and whatnot, so it got about, it went a little slower in the beginning because it was heavier stuff. And then And then, like, oh my God, the feathers there took about a month and a half of 8-hour days. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot I can break it down even more for you, but there's a lot of time and a lot of parts there. My buddy from Boise, Idaho, Tim Garrity, came in. His other buddy had him do a construction job, and he spent 3 days at my house when I couldn't lift my arm, and he did a whole bunch of work for me. So, yeah. And then Elijah was there when Elijah was there. But he did, the amount of work he could do was great. So,
What do you teach?
what do I teach?
What will you be teaching?
Oh, a lot of things. First grade through 12th grade, general art, and then I teach university experience at the college and art education for teachers.
Okay, so I know you have a zillion sculptures all over the state.
Oh, a zillion would be awesome.
Well, I mean, but how many do you have? Because are you still at the Arboretum?
Yes, I have a sculpture at the Arboretum.
Okay.
It's on permanent display there.
Oh, okay.
Kichi Uzapi. It's in the grass area, so if you get a chance, you can check that out. I have one on display at, I have three at Southwest Minnesota State. I've got the Mustangs in the front. I've got a horse in the back, and then I have a smaller sculpture there as well. And then I have Mrs. Whitney in Marshall. I have the tiger in the high school at Marshall. At Avera in Sioux Falls, in a revolving hospital display, is another one that's as well at there. We counted them up. When I get done with this one, it'll be 11 within the 150 miles of my house. Thank you.